Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's LTC Mitzi here, coming at you with another video update, going over the collapse of BG Wealth Sharing. And this right here is going to pretty much turn some heads, pretty much, I believe, with what I'm going to share here with you in this video. Now, this information that I'm going to share with you, actually discovered it last night towards the end of Danny the Hex live coverage of BG Wealth Sharing. So you can see that video. Give me a moment to pull that up. Okay, it was actually this live stream here that was over 5 hours long. At the very end, I noticed that Behind MLM had updated did an update article on BG Wealth Sharing that's going to be very, very important for people to pay attention to. And it all stems from this, what I had discovered, but 2 or 3 days ago with the BG Wealth Sharing website. So it shows right here on the original BGWealthSharing.com website, which was the first one. It shows that it was seized by the Department of Justice, which is the law of the land in the United States, and also the U.S. Secret Service. But what we also did not know, because it was in the code, is that the FBI has also chipped in. And let's go over this whole article here, because I believe this right here should be some exciting news for many of you who lost some or all of your money. So let's go and read over it. So the FBI, working with the DOJ and U.S. Secret Service, has seized BG Wealth Sharing's original website domain. A visit to the domain BGWealthSharing.com now reveals a seizure notice, and here's a screenshot. And down here at this screenshot, you can see FBI has now seized the website as well. Okay, big news. So the same day BG Wealth Sharing's original website domain was seized, the DOJ announced criminal charges against 2 Chinese nationals. Now pay attention to this, because this is what Danny the Heck has been saying has been going on with these scams like BG Wealth Sharing. Okay, so the Scam Center Strike Force actions include criminal charges against 2 Chinese nationals who managed a cryptocurrency investment fraud compound in Burma and attempted to open another compound in Cambodia. The seizure of a Telegram messaging app channel used to recruit human trafficking victims to a scam compound in Cambodia in order to work a law enforcement impersonation scam, and the seizure of 503 fake investment websites, among other actions. So the 2 Chinese nationals in question are Jiang Wenjie, I think I pronounced that correct, aka Jiang Nan, and Wang Xingzhan, aka Ashe. I think that's how you say it. Both were living in Burma before fleeing to Thailand in November 2025. Thai authorities have arrested the pair of immigration fraud, on immigration fraud charges. However, it's unclear whether they'll be extradited to the U.S. to face investment fraud charges. The DOJ claims to have seized more than $700 million tied to Chinese click-a-button app Ponzi's and other crypto investment scams. With respect to BG Wealth Sharing, criminal charge filings for GA and Xinjiang state, the FBI has been investigating a fraudulent scheme by multiple targets, all citizens of the People's Republic of China, who operated one such compound in Minglet Pond, Burma, from at least in or around January 2025 to in or around December 2025. BG Wealth Sharing's original website domain was registered on January 14, 2025, while the Burmese scam compound was shut down in December 2025. BG Wealth Sharing continued to defraud consumers until it collapsed in late April 2026. Both GA's and Xinjiang's criminal charges were filed in the District of Columbia. The BG Wealth Sharing domain seizure notice states the domain was seized per a seizure warrant issued by the United States District Court of the District of Columbia. So that right there is in Washington, D.C. Okay, so hotspots for BG Wealth Sharing recruitment were the U.S., Tonga, and Samoa. Known BG Wealth Sharing recruiters operating in these jurisdictions are Chance Carlson, based out of Utah. You got Latonya Jones, based out of the state of Georgia. And you got Thaddeus Thomas, based out of the state of Texas. And speaking of Thaddeus Thompson, he is still promoting this thing. And to show you that, let's go to his page real quick. So here's Thaddeus Thomas's page right here, which Danny the Heck has also exposed multiple times on his YouTube channel. And when you come here, you see he got the photo of the BG Wealth Sharing office that he opened up in the city of Houston. So I live perhaps like maybe 7 hours. Well, I'm not living in the United States, but right now I'm currently located perhaps 7 hours away from Houston driving. And I could easily drive down to Houston and see this, you know, with my own eyes too. But no need to do that, because I don't believe he's going to be able to keep this for long, because that was a big office space that he's ran out. So right here shows a day ago, he's still congratulating people on making a withdrawal from BG Wealth Sharing, when nobody's been able to withdraw for how many days now? You know, it's just something to talk about here. And he's showing that, you know, the screenshot of somebody making that withdrawal. And it was a big one, you can see. And he's showing people, you know, reaching promotions and coming level 10 manager. I'm not going to pronounce that name. I will just mess her name all up, okay? But you come down further, you got another, you know, manager, Morgan. They call he's calling her. You know, she ended up getting a car, so a Lexus, and it was got BG Wealth Sharing logo on the side of it. So when these investigations really kick off, when you got the FBI, the U.S. Secret Service, and the U.S. DOJ all working together, these assets right here are what they can seize and start a clawback case to issue back funds, possibly issue back funds back to people who lost some or all of their funds. There's no guarantee, but it just depends on, you know, the situation, which I believe this has caught the eyes of the U.S. government. And I think this is something that all marketers who benefited the most, like Morgan, like Thaddeus Thomas, and many more, they should be concerned about. When you get the FBI involved into investigation, you know what they do. Okay? Let's continue down. You know, taking selfies right here. Got a Mercedes in the background. And, you know, another person, level 8 manager. And just continuously promoting this. April 26th, showing he got the BG Wealth Sharing sign put up on the building. Right there in Houston, Texas. You know, and doing more videos and everything right here. So, yeah, I mean, this right here is just horrible. Horrible. When you got people that can't even withdraw funds right now, and you're talking about BonChat is hacked, and, you know, don't trust BonChat, trust the messages that's coming from Stephen Beard and Elena and Telegram, which neither one of them has ever been seen publicly ever. Okay. And, you know, so don't believe anything that these marketers are saying. You know, the fact that you can still make deposits, but you can't make any withdrawals, that's a big issue. Okay. So now let's get back to the article. All right. So we got Mark and Kim Brown. Remember, they had a very long interview talking about how they both started out with like $500, and then they started working, and then they both deposited more money into their accounts, and how Mark was able to retire early, you know, because they said that they was able to get their accounts to well over 6 figures. They didn't say the exact number, but they both said both of them have accounts well over 6 figures and making, you know, pretty decent amount of money per month. So this video, I believe it was shown back in February of this year. Okay. Then you have the one that was, I think she was kicked out. Fayana, I'm not going to try to pronounce that name right there, Brown. And I think she is now promoting Swift Wave Capital now. Because of that reason, she was kicked out of BG Wealth Sharing for promoting another copycat of BG Wealth Sharing. Okay. Come down, you got Mal Hunt Kota from Samoa. And remember, Samoa came out with a second warning, pretty much saying that if they catch any of their citizens promoting BG Wealth Sharing, they can face criminal charges. That was the second warning from Samoa, which is a U.S. territory, which is an extension to the SEC in the United States. Okay? All right, so now let's continue on. And you can see his photos, you know, showcasing his money. being withdrawn from BG Wealth sharing and everything like that. So these people made a pretty good money off of everyone coming in, all the new recruits coming in. And here's Swift Wave Capital being promoted by Fiona Brown. And she was supposed to be a part of this tour that's going on. And then you got a screenshot right here, May 4th, 2026. And, you know, so it says right here, whether we see any BG Wealth sharing U.S. arrest remains to be seen. While the FBI seizing BG Wealth sharing's original, albeit defunct, website domain is of significance, it emphasizes the speed with which Chinese click-a-button app Ponzi scammers operate. BG Wealth sharing, in particular, was known for having to rotate website domain every 1 to 2 days, as existing domains were taken down for suspected fraud. Even now, with BG Wealth sharing collapsed and withdrawals disabled, the scammers still continue to defraud consumers through newly registered domains. And so you can see those links right there, all on April 25th of this year. So what's left of BG Wealth sharing is assumed to still be operated by accomplices of Jian Wenjie and Wang Xingshang. This includes AI creation professor Stephen Beard, represented to be BG Wealth sharing's fictional CEO. And so if you're thinking someone has to be particularly stupid not to question why a company has to cycle through dozens of algorithmically, I think I said that right, shoot, getting tongue-tied, name domains every few days, you're not wrong. Part of the problem with click-a-button app scams, however, is once a recruit is funneled to the app, participation and contact with Chinese scammers takes place exclusively through the app. The apps continue to work until disabled, as is now the case with BG Wealth sharing. Regardless of how many front-facing website domains are cycled through, the websites themselves are merely app download funnels. Google is introducing security hardening to combat sideloaded Android app fraud in September 2026. That's a good thing, because there's this, you know, you could do like this APK download for these apps to bypass, you know, downloading through Apple and also with Google. And so with Google coming out with these strict restrictions now, and I think they're going to go through a point of emphasis to make sure that they do their KYC on these apps before they allow them to be publicly available from download from the Google Play Store. That'd be a good thing. So this might go some way to curbing click-a-button app Ponzi's, but outside of arrest, when suspects travel outside of scam compounds, it seems authorities haven't figured out an effective way to tackle the specific type of MLM fraud. All right. So that right there pretty much concludes the article right there. And, you know, so I would just reemphasize, you know, these marketers right here will eventually go to something else and start recruiting people into that. They may not do it right now, like what they're claiming to be, you know, victims, and trying to tell you don't you know, trust what's going on in the BonChat because it's just AI, you know, making appearance seem like, you know, you're actually trading when you're not. It's like, it's finally that they're admitting the truth. That's a good thing, but it's a little too late for that. So, you know, don't trust what these marketers are saying. They're only in it for themselves in the end. They're trying to keep your trust, make it seem like they're going through the same pain that you are when they're not, because they benefited the most off of promoting this scam. And then once they come around to it, they're going to introduce another one because they still got your trust. You know, so don't believe what they're saying. Don't follow what they're saying. Don't follow into the next scam that they're going to promote, because more than likely that's what they're going to do, because that's the only way they're able to maintain their lifestyles. Okay, but